as accomplished a system it was, the Master System was certainly not what could be considered a shmup powerhouse. Whilst there were plenty of shooters for the system, the number of true classics and those which really pushed the hardware exceedingly well were unsurprisingly low. But at long last, we have a new addition to the ranks, Flight of Pigarus. This is Beyond the Scanlines, a series focusing on interesting games on classic computing and gaming platforms. Flight of Pigarus is a time attack or caravan shooter in which your objective is simply to blast your way to the highest score possible in either a 2 or 5 minute run. What this means is that maximising your score comes from several places. Firstly, blasting everything which moves. Clearing out a formation of flying targets will bring the next wave on sooner, providing even more targets to earn more points. Next up, it's clearing the plentiful supply of ground targets. As alongside scoring points, you'll also encounter chests which release crystals you can collect to earn even more. Plus, there are also power-up pyramids which release pickups to upgrade your firepower. Finally, there's the hidden bonuses located across the levels. Blasting these will net you some serious bonus points, so figuring out their location is certainly something worth prioritising as you learn the layouts of each level. In addition, some clues as to how you obtain these bonuses are also listed in the manual. Vague hints they may be, but there's something worth considering as you start trying to learn the levels to maximise your bonus hunting skills. Now mechanically, this all sounds quite straightforward, but you know what they say, the proof is in the pudding. As you're watching Pigarus in action, you can see it's quite the intense experience. In fact, I think it's absolutely up there with the Power Strike games in terms of just the number of sprites being thrown about the screen at any one moment. Thankfully, you're not entirely overwhelmed, as those power-ups mentioned earlier come in seriously handy. You start out with a dual firing forward shot, and you can upgrade this all the way to a spread shot which fires forwards, but at the same time also gives you a dual shot firing behind you. That might sound unnecessary at first, but there are plenty, and I mean plenty of circumstances where enemies will be coming from behind you as well as in front of you, and it becomes really handy in dispatching them promptly. But it's got to be said, as things go up, they also go down. If you're hit by enemies or their shots, you'll lose a level of your firepower. Eventually you'll be reverted back to a single forward shot, and at this point, if you're blasted again, it's curtains for you because you only have a single life to make your run. Each stage ends in a battle with a boss enemy, and whilst unsurprisingly it's about blasting a particular weak spot, they do provide a nice challenge and quite a cool alternative to the chaotic blasting mechanics which you'll find throughout the rest of the game. At the same time, they actually serve as bookends for the two respective game modes. It's generally the right way to go about this, but of course, it can feel like you hit an inevitable wall trying to blast them to pieces in the scant time remaining that you do have. For a release like this, the presentation of Pigarus truly shines. Whilst it may look basic with a simple title screen and menu options, you've also got the endgame screen as well. Both of these are static, but they carry some well-drawn visuals. Additionally, one of my favourite features is that the best score you've made in each mode is saved independently, and alongside that, there is even a full replay. Once you let the title theme finish up, depending on which of the game modes you've chosen, your entire play run is shown in full. This is something to be quite unique, I feel, amongst caravan shooters, and it's really helpful in allowing you to study your best run to work out what you can do better for the next attempt. Visually, that's where I think Flight of Pigarus is at its best, and it comes from the little things. The sprites are well drawn, animated, and used in such a way which results in very little flicker from objects, something you'll see in other games, but also no slowdown at all. With the intensity of the waves you'll battle and the way the enemies are used, it really makes for a game which is seriously a good challenge to play. On top of that is the way the colours are used. Generally from my experiences with gaming on the Master System, titles tend to use the brighter colours in its palette. What is chosen here makes them have a far more natural approach, well, as natural as you could expect for a more cartoonish game. The results though are something I seriously appreciate. As for the sound, sadly there's no support for the FM sound unit, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. In fact, I find the music quite charming and it really fits the game quite well in its tone and atmosphere. You may not be humming it continually or want to have a recording of it to put in your sound library, but it gels excellently with the cartoonish tone of the visuals which the game offers. The sound effects though are a little flat sounding in comparison, but at least the shots and pickup sounds don't drown out the music, and that is something which can happen with older systems and their more limited sound hardware, so I'm quite thankful for that. Most importantly with a good shooter like this is the control scheme, and I've got to say it, they're tight. Very tight. As with many caravan style shooters, you do have the ability to set your movement speed, though this isn't communicated visually, which is a minor niggle for me. Though thankfully, with 3 settings on offer, it's not really that hard to dial in the one which is your personal preference when starting a new game. Most importantly, knowing how the classic Master System controllers do fare, I'm incredibly glad that there is auto-fire on hand. Because like any frantic shooter, you really need to be able to get your shots out quickly, and so the auto-fire option really helps that happen. It feels great for lining up, blasting targets, and generally doing what you do best, making sure you can get right into the zone and enjoy some pure shooting bliss. When it comes down to it, Flight of Pigarus is a heck of a shmup experience. Whilst the caravan formula does mean it is brief when playing, the challenge you get in learning the secrets of each level and optimizing how you tackle them truly gives it plenty of breathing room and long-term enjoyment. A capability which is only bettered by the game recording your best runs for a review later on. Combined with its presentation and its visuals, it's a game which truly pushes the Master System quite hard, especially as there's no slowdown and little flicker when in action. As a free release, it has to be said that it's an essential download in my book. It's a game I really have a lot of fun with, and certainly enjoy coming back to every so often to see if perhaps I can knock my personal best up a little more. But with that, we're now at the end of yet another Beyond the Scanlines. If you happen to appreciate this look at a new gem for old hardware, why not leave a thumbs up on the video? If you've got some thoughts, consider dropping a comment and let's chat about it. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. And yes, ringing the bell so you can be notified the moment new videos are uploaded and published for you all to enjoy. Finally, and probably most importantly though, thank you all so very much for taking the time out to enjoy this video.